Irashaimase! Hello and welcome to Fitaurus Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Fitaurus. It's time once again for Shoot 'em Up Saturday, and on the menu this Saturday we have Pooyan, a 1982 Konami classic. What kind of taste will it have? Let's get cooking and find out. Released to arcades in 1982, Pooyan would go and see ports to several other systems, including the Famicom, the Atari 2600, the Apple II, and the Commodore 64. So basically a lot of the popular gaming and PC platforms of the era. So today we're looking at the Hamster Arcade Archive version of Pooyan, which is available on the Nintendo Switch, the version we're looking at today, and also the PlayStation 4. So diving into the game itself, it's a relatively straightforward fixed shooter game. So we have one day in the forest. The little Pooyan, who are the little baby pigs of Mama Pig here, who is the character we play at, have been kidnapped by these wolves. So our goal is to both defend the remaining Pooyan and also rescue the Pooyan that were kidnapped from the wolves. So we do this by shooting these wolves down that are trying to use these balloons to fall out of this tree, using arrows, and also we can use this meat, which is their favorite food and is very effective at taking them out for some reason. It happens to travel in a bomb-like arc, so it's effective in certain scenarios, but you have to pick the right time and place for using the meat to take down the wolves. You do also get bonus points for wolves when you do use the meat to take them down. The more wolves you get, the higher the score, and that's one way to go and get high scores with this game. And that's basically the base mechanics. You move up and down, shoot arrows, and throw meat at the wolves to go and defend your young, or in the case of the odd, or rather the even number stages, to rescue them. So number of pigs taken, 2. So that's the base version there. So there are a total of 8 stages throughout the course of the game. Once you hit the end of the 8th stage, the game loops with a higher difficulty. So this is the even pattern stages, where the wolves are actually trying to go and rise up to the cliff to go and drop that boulder on Mama Pig. If they manage to get up there, enough of them, I believe it's 7 wolves, they'll push that boulder off the edge, and that boulder will fall onto Mama Pig, and she won't be able to go and rescue her young. It is possible to pick up this meat here, which we can go and throw and take out several wolves. Also, at the end of this stage, we'll encounter our first boss wolf, who happens to go and be a more difficult wolf to take out. And if he happens to get to the top, then several more wolves will spawn. There's actually a finite number of wolves per stage. That's actually indicated on that flag there in the top left. So we're down to just 9 wolves left in the stage. So it is possible to shoot down the fireballs that the wolves are throwing at us. And the wolves themselves can even defend themselves by, well, as you're seeing with Boss Wolf here, going and putting up the stick string of their balloon to knock down your arrows. Mama, yay, we did it. We went and saved a couple of the Pooyan. Or rather, Pooyan. The Pooyan are the bigger ones that are actually helping raise and lower Mama Pig to attack the wolves. So this is our first bonus stage. There are actually a couple different bonus stage types. In this one, we throw meat at the wolves to knock them down and score as many bonus points as possible. There is no ability to fire the arrows, it's just the meat, so do your best to aim with this high arc meat. Right, and that is basically Pooyan, served up for your enjoyment. So the game does have the usual trappings of the arcade archive. You have your high score mode, where you're trying to set the highest score in one continue, and also there is a caravan mode where you're trying to set the highest score you can in 5 minutes. And the game will alternate back and forth between the wolves falling and the wolves like rising up to the cliff. So this one we have a boss wolf that's dropping strawberries at us, making things more difficult. It's an interesting like title, and for like a arcade title from 1982, I think it's actually just a pretty fun take on the fixed shooter like genre. So instead of having like a character on the bottom of the screen shooting enemies coming from the top, we're in a position where we're shooting enemies from the side of the screen. So I think it's kind of neat. And then there's also the cute little theming of a mama pig trying to go and save her little piglets from the evils of the wolves is kind of like neat and different. Minus flavors, so there's just not a whole lot of like attack options. I feel as we're just going and shooting arrows and throwing like bizarrely enough throwing meat at the wolves to take them out. Yay! Number of pigs taken, 2. 2 will always go and be the number of pigs taken, even if you like have a perfect stage there. As far as the plus flavors are concerned, I really do like the simple arcade feel that the game has, and I also really like the cute little premise that it has. So, this is available, of course, as I mentioned, on the Switch and the PlayStation 4 if you're interested. And for an older arcade title, I think this one's like definitely fun and maybe like worth checking out. Alright, so that should just about wrap things up for this week's episode of Shoot 'em Up Saturday. As always, I want to thank you so much for coming out and joining me, and I hope to see you again next week.